let's get past that topic now and go into just a little bit more kind of conversation I want to have with you about just the fucking world right now, right? I feel like this Twitter, internet, this drama, war, all this stuff is never going to end. I feel like there's just a cycle in the world of, if it's not this, it's this. If it's not that, it's that. And it's crazy because right now we're talking about what's happening in the world, and it's like people's literal lives are just being like destroyed. People are literally dying. Mm-hmm. And I just feel like, obviously I'm in a different position because I can't speak directly on these things because I don't live in a world where I'm able to identify as this, as that, right? I'm way over here on the outside and I'm looking at it and I just can't help but feel like, do we ever, because I tweeted this, do we ever find a piece or a place in history where like people are just like peaceful? I feel like it's a constant turmoil. It's a constant like gathering of either power or this viewpoint versus that viewpoint. I feel like we're
corruption.
I think there's corruption. It's like there's so much shit that's tied up into this, and it's like, yo, this side's doing that side's saying this, and it's just this constant like conflict. And I just feel like it's just, if it's not this, it's something else. If it's not something else, it's something else. And it's just, we're just in this cycle of like, what's the use of it? Is it?
I think we talk about this lightly every time I come on the show.
Yeah.
And just to nail it home once again, it really just comes down to lack of empathy. For lack of ability to understand the suffering of another human. And that idea can be applied across the board for every single thing you just talked about.
Yeah.
For left versus right politics in America, for social media, Dylan Dennis versus Nina, for Israel versus Palestine.
Yeah.
The idea that people are unable to remove themselves from their emotions, from their anger, from their jealousy, from their hatred for a second and say, what is that other person feeling?
Yeah.
What are my words and my actions doing to that other person's life? And how would I feel if that was happening to me? And not only making that observation, but then adjusting your actions to mirror what it would like to be what it would be like to be that person. The golden rule: treat others how you would want to be treated. Yeah. That rule is so overlooked in today's society. And we've talked about the first two, but this situation that's going on in Gaza right now is horrendous. And talk about complexities. Talk about multiple facets and ways to understand a situation.
100+ year war
is
there,
just
man.
a terrible situation.
Yeah.
Where unfortunately the decisions that have been made by a small group of men seeking power are affecting a mass of civilian women, children, boys, population.
Yeah.
And that is what war is. War is a mass suffering of people who have no power to gain at the hands of a select few trying to gain power. And it is the most destructive force that we have in this world. Disgusting fucking thing. And the past week, I have just been in Tel Aviv. I was there 2 months ago.
Yeah, I remember.
Wonderful fucking people. Wonderful population of people. Strong Israeli people. I also met with Palestinian people. I met with Arabs. I met with Jews. I met with people of all walks of life, all incredible, all with their own story, all with their own powers, their own struggles, just like everyone here. And to watch this happening right now in the streets where I just was, where Tav was 1 week ago. One of my best friends in the world was there 1 week ago. His cousins were taken hostage at that rave. They're still in Gaza, in Palestine-controlled Gaza. His cousins, blood, flesh, real fucking connection.
Yeah.
And to watch this happen over the past week has been disgusting.
The question is like that I have when I look at it, you think about all the other stuff, and I don't know how deep into conspiracy type theory stuff you go into, but like you see the money from the U.S. given to Iran, and then that like is that what was backing these like groups and
that thing's weird too because there's corruption is real,
100%.
Conspiracy is real. The CIA and their coups and their manipulation is real. So I get all that, and there's been a lot of questions about how Mossad and CIA miss this because Mossad is one of the most powerful intelligence organizations on the planet.
Hands down, yeah.
They are fucking. Yeah, they see the future.
Israel is different. Man.
No, different.
Yeah,
so the idea that this was just missed completely is mind blowing to me, especially on the anniversary of a Yom Kippur war where they've seen this happen in the past. So yes, I understand all of those factors and I get all that. But then also there's a lot of disinformation. There's a lot of misinformation. The idea that $6 billion was given to Iran, that is not the case. There was $6 billion in oil assets that were frozen, that were unfrozen in a trade deal with the United States. I'm not claiming that was the right move or anything. I don't know what that looks like behind the scenes, but let's at least talk about the facts.
Yeah.
That money was unfrozen to be used specifically for certain aspects of Iranian government, feeding people, so on and so forth. Now, here's where it gets difficult. Say they now know that they can feed their people with that $6 billion of unfrozen oil assets. They can now unfreeze another $6 billion from their coffers that they were going to use to feed their people and buy rockets with it.
Right.
So I listen. I know there's a lot of people out there who think I'm stupid. There's a lot of people out there who think I'm really dumb and I talk a lot and I don't know what I'm talking about, but I truly, truly, truly study this shit.
Yeah.
And I try to really understand the geopolitical theater and as much as I can. And I'm not perfect. I'm sure I'll say things from time to time that are completely incorrect. Forgive me for that. But there's so much at play here and there's so much anger and hatred on both sides. And at the end of the day, I just don't understand what a solution looks like.
I know. That's the difficult part. That's the craziest thing. And it's fucked, man, because when you really think about it, like everything you said earlier, like the people's lives who are being destroyed are not the people who have the most to gain in these situations. Like all war in general, like it's not.
It's all innocent people.
Yeah, it's innocent people who are being basically essentially slaughtered.
It's crazy. I just don't know of a real passage in the Bible, the Quran, the Torah, or any book that is saying, yo, go extrajudiciously murder children.
No, none.
There cannot be.
There's not
a fucking single verse that applauds or encourages that type of behavior. So to fall back on it as a religious approach to me is haram. That seems like haram to me.
Yeah.
To